Inspired from Control Unleash, Default Behaviors, Environmental Cues. What are they and why teach them?
Here, I'm showing examples of default behavior. Rachel looks at me, and that causes me to open the door. We go out the door, he sits and looks at me, and I give him a treat. When he's getting out of the crate, I put on the leash, I give him a cue to release from the crate. He jumps out and looks at me, and I give him a treat. In none of these do I tell him to look at me or to sit. It's become a default behavior.
What is an environmental cue for a person? If you are in a classroom and there's a teacher in front of you, the teacher doesn't have to say, everybody look at me, I'm the one talking, you should sit down. We've learned that. That's an environmental cue that we're listening to the person in front of us speaking. If we're at a stoplight, it doesn't have to shout red, yellow, green for us to know what to do or stop, cautious, go. We know from the experience what that environmental cue means to us. Examples of environmental cues for your dog could be a door. You and the dog are standing in front of a door. That can become a cue for the dog to look at you, so you'll open the door and you can go out and do fun things. You're standing there with a ball and the dog wants you to throw it. You standing with the ball can become an environmental cue for the dog to look at you or sit so that you will throw the ball. Let's say your dog is worried about that bulldog it sees. That can become an environmental cue for the dog to look at you, so you'll help them out in that situation.
In this video, we're going to look at building a default behavior of the puppy offering you eye contact by using the up and down pattern game. The pattern game has a lot of great value for many things, but in this one, we're just going to look at building default eye contact. The handler plays this game by placing a treat down on the ground. When the puppy lowers its head to eat it and then chooses to look back up at you saying, let's play this game again, the owner says yes and lowers another treat to the ground. The puppy soon learns, wow, great things happen when I look at your face. And the more we reward this behavior, the more the puppy learns to look at our face, to communicate, to check in with us, to ask for things. This is a great value to you. What if I just said, look at me, instead of waiting for the puppy to look at me and rewarding it? Well, what would I do if the puppy didn't look at me after I ordered it to look at me? It would put me in a tough position. This way, the puppy just learns, great things happen when I look at you. We can use this to have a conversation.
Why is it better for the dog if sometimes I let the environment tell him what to do rather than me telling him what to do? Dogs process visual, physical cues faster than verbal ones because it takes longer for the verbal sound to make its way to the appropriate sensory receptacles in the dog's brain. In other words, it's easier for the dog to see what to do than to hear it. Some dogs are worriers. They're always scanning the environment for possible trouble. When the cue is in the environment, they can scan for possible rewards instead of trouble. Plus, we are having a conversation and dogs don't talk. Default behaviors let them communicate with us. They can look at us. They can sit, and that's communication.